My name's Britany Barnes-Galbraith. My father's name is Barnes. My husband's name is Galbraith, so I use both. And I have those 2 degrees, bachelor's and master's, and I teach reading and English classes to students 10th, 11th, 12th standard. Principal already mentioned that. I'm from Orem, Utah, USA. Right now it's really, really cold there. It's snowing. It's in the negative single-digit degrees, really cold. So I'm very pleased to be in Bangalore, the nice weather, the good food, the beautiful saris, so colorful. I just love being here, honestly. Any chance I get, I try to come back to India. Okay, we're going to move right into direct instruction. So you can go ahead and title this on your paper, write direct instruction. And we'll spend about an hour talking about how to use this in your class. It works. And I'm going to tell you why. It's also called explicit instruction. So if you're ever studying direct instruction, the same word, explicit and direct, they're the same. Okay? It's used to teach concepts and skills. In my classroom, I use it for both, but I love to be skill-oriented. Skill means at the end of the lesson, the student can produce. So you can see the skill happening. It's not just the knowledge in their heads. You can see that they know it because they're doing something. So skill-based learning means they produce. Direct instruction is very good in that way. There we go, used to produce. The teacher explains and models, and students practice and give feedback. So it's interactive. The teacher's talking, the students talk. The teacher's talking, the students talk. And I'll show you examples later, but this is just the theoretical framework. This is the biggest positive about direct instruction. Minimal failure. Everybody say this together with me. Ready? Minimal, everyone? Minimal failure, which is so important, especially for our students that have problem behaviors. When they keep failing, they feel worse. Then they fail again, they feel worse, and then they don't want to try. Then they start talking with their friends, or they start drawing in their notebook. They're not listening. They get bad scores, right? So this minimizes failure for all students, even the students that have difficult times. So the question is, what does independent mean? Okay, freedom? Free? Okay, usually that's what people say. We have free. What else?
Independently thinking.
Independently thinking, what does that mean?
Thinking about some subject, what you are teaching, so they have to independently analyze what is.
And they think of it on their own, right? The next thing is alone. Independent means alone. When you're growing up, you can't do things alone. You always have to have your mother there all the time. And then even in high school, you still need your mother. But then after high school, you have to move out, and you're on your own, right? Alone. So independent means you can do it alone. It's an important thing, feeling like you can do it alone. We should do this when we're teaching students too. They need to feel that they can do it by themselves. This is your role during direct instruction. First thing, you provide clarity by telling the exact objective. Right at the beginning, we say, okay, today we're going to learn how to add 2 plus 2. Right away, you tell them very clearly, exact description. We say, today we are going to write paragraphs right when you begin. Then there's no confusion about what's happening. The student knows. The next thing is reviews learning from previous lesson. The next thing you do is say, okay, what did we do last time? Last time we practiced writing the number 2. This time we're going to practice writing the number 3. So you just make a quick review. Then you give rationales. Then you model. I'm going to give you more examples of this. The student's role is to be active. Raise your hand if you know what active means. Sure. Yeah.
Proper participation in the class.
Thank you. It's participation, right? Just like what you just did. You're being active. So you're engaged. I can tell because your eyes are here. You raised your hand. You spoke. Active. What's passive?
Being calm.
Just being calm. Maybe looking down at your notes. Maybe going like this. So we have this guy here. He's like, oh, whatever. So he's not engaged in the lesson and it's not productive. He's not learning. So we want to avoid that. We don't want to be passive. We want to be active. There's constant participation. And you practice until you master. So you just keep going and keep going. We don't say, okay, you didn't do good enough, so forget it. You don't get another chance. We practice. We say, okay, this is how you didn't do well. Let's work on that. Then let's move up to this. Then let's move up to this. So everybody masters some element of the skill. What does the research say? It says teachers can increase student achievement by using time well. You have high quality examples, you use clear language, and you provide effective feedback and involve the student. Another big positive that I like in my class is it's motivating students by making them feel competent. What does competent mean?
They should be ready to face.
Yeah, they're ready to face, they know, right? They've got it. They've mastered the skill, they're competent. They feel like, hey, I can do this on my own. I can do this. That's a good feeling. Even for me, I like to feel I can do this on my own. It's an important part of life. So when we're teaching, we want to simulate life. When you leave high school, you need to be competent. You need to be prepared. There are hard things coming, right? So it's very motivating. The social cognitive theory is by Bandura in 1989. He said that students learn by, everybody say this together, what's the word? Observing. Big deal, right? We can learn by watching what other people do. Do we do that all the time? Let me tell you an example. When I come to India, my first time, they gave me the food, and there was no spoon and no fork. So I'm sitting here like, okay, what's he gonna do? Okay, what is she gonna do? Okay, she has her hand like this. Then she, okay, I got it. You know, so slowly I learned that. Somebody could have told me, before I came to India, my teacher said, okay, this is how you eat in India. Let me tell you. You do this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. If somebody tells it to you, it's not as powerful as when, oh, okay, I can see how she's doing it. Oh, I see how she's... Same with tying the sari. You cannot learn that by reading it in a book. You have to watch it. You have to observe. And you have to practice doing it. So when she bought my first sari in Chennai, she showed me how to do it one time. And then the rest of the week she said, okay, you do it by yourself. So I practiced and practiced, and I'm okay now, but I need to keep practicing. This social cognitive theory says we learn by observing behavior. So as a teacher, they're going to observe your behavior. You're going to show them all the time what they should do. The next thing is modeling. They model, so students always have a good example. So here's some research of why we do direct instruction. There is tons of research. I'm going to share two big ones with you, okay? So we have Bandura. The next one's Vygotsky. That's what he looks like. He's in 1978. He says that students benefit from interacting verbally using language. Also, let's read this one together. Ready? Hands-on and active learning benefits students. Okay, one more time, just this word. Ready? Hands-on. People learn by using hands-on, tactile. It's not just always reading and watching, and that doesn't teach you some of those complex skills. Writing a 5-paragraph essay, comparative essay, that's complex. That's abstract, right? I can't just say to you, hey, you need to write a comparative essay on Vygotsky and Bandura. You have 10 minutes, go. That's not teaching. I need to show her, okay, this is what the first paragraph looks like. Let me show you an example. Here's the second paragraph. Let me show you an example. You have to give constant examples and feedback, things for them to see, or things for them to hear, examples. Here's another example, driving a car. Can you learn that from reading a book? No. Who's driven like a manual stick shift? So in US, there's automatic with no gears, but then there's also the one that has gears. Guess which car I got when I was 16? I got the one with the gears. So I had to practice and practice. You have to know exactly when to let your foot up off the clutch. So I was like, okay, I can feel, okay, and then I could go, right? But so before my dad's like, okay, When you get in the car, your feet are going to be like this, and you're going to lift your foot off of the clutch. It's easy. Go try. It's not easy. It's very complex. So this is another example. Driving a car is too complex. We can't just give the responsibility to the student. So why should we implicitly know how to write a paragraph essay? If we can't do these things without watching someone, why do we expect the student to do this without any help? It can't happen, right?